Hello, my name is Marty Windle, SBL Guru. Welcome to part 2 of my conversation with the legend of AA lecturing, Erin Morton. And our second topic we're going to talk about today is about study skills. We're all studying for examinations. So I just want to ask Erin, like we're both teaching written papers. So have you got any tips in terms of studying and study techniques which you could share with people who are taking the exam?
Yeah, I think most of our student base and ACCA students in general get into this because they like numbers and they want to create lovely computations and they want to work through to get to an answer. And then they're faced with subjects like ours, Marty, and then they go, "Oh no, I really don't like this," or I'm actually terrified of this. I don't think I'm very good at formulating information. I don't think I can communicate properly. And in fairness, it does need some real presentation skills and some form of communication skills to help you deliver your answers as clearly as possible to the marker. The one thing that I always tell my students is that I think there's this expectation that because this is a professional accounting exam, therefore the markers are expecting tons and tons of technical language and baffling them with loads of technical terms and wonderful English vocabulary. And actually, in reality, what the marker wants is something that they can read as clearly as possible and as simply as possible, communicating in your own style so that you are able to tell the marker, this is what I know. I've learnt this already. This is what I know. This is what I think about this particular issue in the exam that you've given me, and then they can read it clearly and give you a mark as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So I think, in terms of skills, one thing that should be on your mind from the start of studying a subject like audit or SBL or any of the other more written topics is thinking about how am I going to formulate this in my own words and be as clear as possible.
Yeah,
Have you found that with SBL as well?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's something that sometimes a little bit underestimated, that skill by students in the examination. They need to practice doing the exam in a way that the examiner wants to read it. And it takes a little bit of time. And like, especially for SBL, it's not an academic exam. You're not doing it. It's different from doing a degree essay. If you've done an essay at degree, that's not what is required in the SBL exam. So you've got to get into the style of what the examiner wants. And by presenting it in such a way that's going to get you marks in the examination, because you can write a lot, and I'm sure you have this with AA, you can write a lot, and students say, God, I wrote so much and I didn't pass, I can't believe it, because it's more about what the quality rather than the length of what you write is the important thing in the exam.
Absolutely. I've seen scripts with answers like just a sea of writing and so much information, but not actually really answering the requirement and actually going off because they've started talking about something and then moving on to something else, and then that's made them think of something else and they're not sticking to the point. So you're right. So I think there needs to be a clear message that volume of answer does not always equal success, and actually some of the more succinct answers that I've seen are some of the best quality ones.
Yeah.
And you're putting the marker in a good mood as well, which is the other thing that is easy to forget when you're preparing, that these are human beings that are going to be marking your scripts, and they may be marking 300 answers, for example, and they want to help you, but they want you to help them too. And so by having that real clear, not short, because short's the wrong word, but succinct answers would be the best way to go so that they can get through your script as clearly as possible and move on.
Yeah, so in the SBL exam, the examiner said they do like exam paragraph headings, so they can guide the examiner to say, okay, this is my paragraph, this is what it's about, and it kind of gives a nice flow and look to your answer as well. And that's kind of, we talk about the ticking zone, the ticking zone where the examiner gets, here's my point and here's my example and here's my application. So you can create that sort of thing where, oh, right, okay, yeah, that's clear. I can see that's a point. Think about it from the marker's perspective. They want to pass you. They don't really want to fail anybody, and they definitely don't want to give people 48 or 49 in the examination. No. They definitely want to try and get you through the exam.
We don't like those. 48 and 49 are horrible.
The other thing I would say is about revising. We're always revising, and a lot of people ask me the question, what time should I revise for the exam? What's the best timing? Well, the thing is, there is some study on this in terms of you can be a wolf, you can be a lion, you can be a dolphin, or you can be a bear. Okay, so let me just go through these, and Erin, you can tell me which one you are. A wolf is
Okay.
you are a night owl, right? You don't wake up early in the morning. You're not good. So you're basically going to be an evening person. You're going to
Takes you
go.
a while to warm into the
Yeah,
day. Is
yeah.
that is
During the
that the
day, you're
wolf?
not doing much, but the evening is when you kick in. A lion is the early bird. Does really good work first thing in the morning. They can get up early, and that works really well for some students. You can be a dolphin. Dolphin is somebody who's productive in mid morning or early afternoon, so they're good just before lunch or just after lunch. And if you're a bear, also mid morning, you have a big energy dip in the mid-afternoon. So they're the different categories, and I'll put a link into the podcast where you can decide which one you are. The most important thing is study at a time when works best for you, right? If people say, oh, you must study in the morning, you might not be a morning person. It doesn't work for you. So you've got to find a time to study which works for you as a person, and everybody is different. What about
I
you? Are
agree.
you an early morning person?
I am.
Yeah.
You should have guessed. I mean, my whole family are. We're a long line of early risers.
You're a lion.
Um, I am a lion, so which is nice to know. That makes me feel. Although I was hoping to be a dolphin, but it's okay. I can live with being a lion. But yeah, I've been like that from a very early age. I remember sitting, even doing my GCSE exams when I was at school. I used to actually get up in the dark and I would study. I'd come down to my kitchen and I would study before everyone got up in the house. And then I took that approach all the way through. I did my AAT exams, and then did my ACCA. And I used to always start early. Now, that might not have been the only time I studied, because I'm a massive believer in bite-sized studying, as we've talked about already. But that would be when I would start my day. And I'm still like it now with work as well. When I'm prepping or marking or planning, I kind of want to start the day as quickly as possible and get going as early as I possibly can. And then I feel like I've ticked off quite a few bits already as I'm moving into the day. So I feel like I'm almost ahead, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, definitely. Get a few hours in early when your
Yeah.
brain is working. Yeah, but some
What
people
about
can't
you,
do that. It's
Marty?
not for everybody. Some
No, no,
people
it's not.
can't do that whatsoever. The other thing I would talk about just very quickly is a thing called the forgetting curve, which was invented in 1885. And the forgetting curve is the propensity to forget things you've just studied almost immediately. After you've studied them, you forget around about 50% of what you study. So the important thing is reinforcement of the study. So if you study something, a lot of people will study something on Monday. On Tuesday, they'll study something different. It's a good idea on Tuesday to just do a little quiz, or just have a little look again at what you did yesterday, just to reinforce it. And that will push from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. So that reinforcement helps with the forgetting curve. So it will mean that you are less likely to forget what you've just studied the previous day. So it's a little tip for you if you're doing your exams. Try to study a little bit of what you did yesterday, just to reinforce what you did and to push it into the long-term memory.
I think it's good to change your study
Yeah.
styles as well. So not just read, for example, like you said, breaking it up with a quiz, but also trying to maybe create your own summaries of what you've studied already. So if you've looked at a particular topic, create a mind map or bullet point some of the key terms from that particular area of the syllabus, maybe create revision cards, but just, mix up your learning so that you are, again, what you're doing by doing that is reinforcing what you've just learned.
Yeah.
So the more you repeat it, like you said, the more it's going to stay. But yeah, I'm a massive visual fan. So I'm a big visual learner, always have been. So I like to introduce color. When I was an auditor, it was highlighters all over every schedule that I was looking at. But anything that helps me see things and things stand out better for me. So, by creating something visual then helps me remember it. And it's something then I can keep looking over regularly as well.
Yeah, I also think it's like you can look at the syllabus. Okay, I'm okay on this part, but I'm weak on this one. So you can work out where you need to put more work in going forward as well. Well, Erin, thanks so much. That's really great on the tips. I think it's like really helpful to people who are studying the examination.
Yeah.
So thanks very much.
You're welcome.